Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we are discussing the probability, the likelihood, whatever you want to call it, of an overstay crackdown in the aftermath of this recent immigration amnesty that had been granted from March 26th up to July 31 in response to COVID-19. So for those who are unaware, and I doubt there's many who are watching this channel that are, I should say specifically watching this video, Thailand basically instituted a visa amnesty. If your visa was expiring on or after March 26th, you were granted an amnesty up until July 31. There is no evidence to suggest that they are going to discontinue there's no evidence to suggest that that amnesty is going to be extended past the 31st. If anything, there have been a number of remarks made by immigration officers that appears to be the opposite of what is likely to happen. So for those who are watching this video, it's a good idea to really seriously consider getting your situation normalized before the end of July 2020 if you haven't already done so. But a recent article from Thai Examiner, that's thaiexaminer.com, article is titled, "Stranded Foreigners Must Get Embassy Letter, New Visa, or Leave Thailand to Avoid Arrest by Police." Quoting directly, and I urge those watching this video to check out this article in detail. There's a lot more in here than just this. I'm just simply quoting some very sort of small, specific parts of this article. Quoting directly, "Stepped up activities against illegal foreigners in play." Quoting further, "There is already evidence that Immigration Bureau officers and other police forces have already stepped up enforcement activities against foreigners living and working illegally in Thailand over the last few weeks." Quoting further, Colonel Pakapong, who has been quoted throughout this article, and we're not going to go any deeper into that, but he's an immigration colonel. Colonel Pakapong said on Friday that any foreigner with a visa expiring after the 31st should act now to have it renewed or prepared to leave the kingdom before that date. So, personally, I think that it's very unlikely that we're going to see this amnesty extended. Now, there has been no official announcement, although strictly speaking, there doesn't need to be one. In the amnesty itself, there is an expiration date. So, immigration officers could just let things play out and not make any affirmative announcement and just let the thing expire. So understand, it's not a situation where you only act after they announce that they're going to end it. They may just end it, just let it run its course. The other thing to understand, if you are caught in overstay in Thailand after the amnesty is over, you are now dealing with everything associated with amnesty. And there is some question as to how things like blacklisting time, fines, etc. are going to be tabulated in the aftermath of amnesty. So let's say, for example, you were about to go into overstay the day before the 26th. You were about to go into overstay as of, let's say, the 27th of March. Now you've done your amnesty. And July 31 has come and gone. It's now April 1. How many fines are going to be accrued? Does the fine start accruing from the moment of your first day of overstay, so it's just one day? Or do they look retroactively? Once you've overstayed one day, they look back at the whole time you were here and say, we're going to throw that in as well. I can see an interpretation of this taking that position. Another situation which could be played out is, how do they accrue time for blacklisting? Generally speaking, if you overstay in Thailand less than 90 days, so 89 days or less, then they will not put you on the blacklist, although they do have the discretion to do so if they like. So the actual numbers are not necessarily compelling and entirely compelling, I should say. That being said, the 90-day mark, let's say, you would have hit the 90-day mark during your amnesty. Does one extra day of overstay thereby combine with that to then retroactively create a 91-day overstay and result in your blacklisting? Remains to be seen. So not only do they appear to be cracking down, but there appear to be permutations of this which could really have a detrimental impact to folks who who are in overstay after this amnesty has ended. And one final point, immigration has continuously been upgrading their resources in terms of manpower, funding, capability in the past roughly 3 or 4 years. And as a result of that upgrade, they have a great deal more resources at their disposal than they once did. And it stands to reason that those resources can be better brought to bear against overstay crackdowns because there isn't much else for them to do. If there's not a lot of inbound immigration, then those officers can be retasked somewhere else. And it stands to reason they might be and likely would be retasked to finding overstayers. So the thing to take away from this video is an overstay crackdown does not seem outside the realm of possibility if and when the amnesty comes to an end at the end of July 31, 2020.